Hello. Just waiting for everyone to join. Hello. Video working today. Awesome. Alrighty, as everyone's coming in, how are you all going? We're going to do some gut stuff today. I forgot to say in the email yesterday, don't have dinner like right before we start. Has anyone just eaten? All good if not. We're going to be talking and discussing and stuff first, so that's fine. Okay, so how about we just do a check-in first? Pop in the chat box. How are you going? Any wins or a win? And also if you have anything that you want to talk about today that isn't to do with gut and movement, just so I can weave that in, or maybe do it at the start or do it at the end. Hey, Philly, I'm not feeling the best tonight. But super interesting in tonight's session. Yes, I have press record. So it is recording. I'm actually really excited about this. So I have so many bits and pieces of like, oh, you can do this, you can do that, you can do that, just to support digestion. But now I've put it all together. At the end, we're going to do a 30-minute, I'm calling it Philly's Gut Flow, because I couldn't think of anything else original. Most of it too can be done being static. So if anyone's kind of feeling a bit like, am I going to have to be like jumping around and moving around? There's actually only 4 minutes at the end where you will not be seating or sitting. Wins, people. Let's get our brain focusing on what we've achieved, so we're not stuck in the sameness. Nicole, feeling great. Everything is ticking along nicely. Every day is a win with the way I feel. I love that. Can that be like a tagline? Every day is a win with the way I feel after you finish ending body burnout method. All right, if you're still typing, just continue typing away. So what we're going to do tonight is I'm going to do a little bit of teaching first, and we're going to go over some really important organs that relate to the gut. In particular, the vagus nerve and the stomach and the intestines, and how we can actually use like our physical body and movement to help support awesome gut health. And then the second half of the session, I'll take you through, so you're not just kind of like sitting there. We're actually going to like get active, and we're going to go through a really beautiful gut flow. And it's been a big but mostly exciting week with the kids, and I am sleeping well. Yay for sleep. Like kids, exciting things happening for the kids, or they're behaving well, or both. Okay, so let me screen share. Alrighty, if you're still typing away, I'll keep looking back at the chat box. Okay, so I went through the intention, what we're going to do today. Why is this important? Well, movement is life. If we stop moving in any way or form, then we cannot function optimally. I mean, if every cell in your body stops moving, you're dead. So movement is really important, and movement is life, and movement can rejuvenate our body systems. It can improve our mental health, and specifically talking about the gut, if the gut's not moving, if it's not digesting food, if it's not assimilating, if it's not moving matter and toxins out of your system, if that's not happening very well, then that gets built up into your system. So this is just another tool in your toolkit that you can use to help support the healing of your body and having maintaining that health as well. Okay. In the chat box, does anyone know what the vagus nerve is? Have you heard of the vagus nerve? No idea. Awesome. I should be taught. I should. Oh, I would like her to talk about that a lot more. The vagus nerve is probably one of the, I mean, they're all important, but it's a really important organ in your body. It's not something you can really test for in terms of functional lab tests, but basically it's the nerve. Yeah, cool. Vicky, I think it runs down the side of your neck somewhere, right? Heard it in Dr. Ali's book, but can't completely remember. Cool. So it's the nerve that runs from your brain. So you can kind of see at the bottom of this picture here. Let me grab the little... Here we go. So a nerve that runs from the bottom of your brain or the skull, and it runs down, your neck, and then it is sending signals down to your organs. So it's pretty important for optimal gut health. And we'll talk about it a little bit more. Well, actually on the next slide, I think. And so not only is it sending signals down to in your gut, but it's also sending signals down to other important organs like your liver, your kidneys, your lungs. So it's pretty much just making sure that all your organs are functioning optimally, and vice versa too. So this is where the gut-brain connection comes into it. If you've heard of gut-brain connection, this vagus nerve is what connects the brain with the gut. So if you've got toxic stuff or inflammatory stuff happening in your gut, then that can also send signals up to your brain, and it can start causing neurological issues. Okay, so specifically in terms of the gut, it's really important for motility. So I'm going to kind of tell you, just not go into too much detail, but talk about the functions of these organs so that when we go through the exercises, you know specifically how this is helping. Because sometimes when you're doing it, it's just like, oh, is this really doing anything? Like, what is this doing? You can then connect it to loving messages down to your organs as you're doing it. And that's just going to make these processes so much more powerful. Okay, so motility. So motility is the chemical reactions that causes your gut to contract. So you got your big long intestines, basically from your butthole up to your mouth. There's the gut lining, and within the gut lining are muscles, and those muscles are constantly contracting, moving food and bacteria, sweeping that through your gut so you can eliminate it and keep bacteria down in the large intestines. If anyone has had SIBO, then that's often where someone develops small intestinal bacterial overgrowth because those bacteria travel up. So the vagus nerve is actually supporting healthy motility. It also supports digestive juices. It supports healthy gut lining and intestinal immunity. And mostly for these four here, it is because it also regulates your stress response. So if you've got, and it's like, you can just get stuck in a vicious cycle. So it could be like super stressed, then it throws out the vagus nerve, or for some people, sometimes the vagus nerve becomes dysfunctional, and then it can affect your stress response. But when you're in that fight flight mode, then you can't you can't produce digestive juices very effectively. Also, in a stress response, you're starting to eat away at your gut lining, so then that leads to leaky gut. And stress also suppresses your immune system, and 80% of your immune system is in the gut. So these are some exercises that I like to support the vagus nerve. The humming and alternating, we'll go over all of these and then you can have a little practice. So when we get into the flow, then we'll just like flow through certain ones. So humming, basically, everyone knows how to hum. Everyone come off mute and give me a good hum. We'll do it all together. And the way that humming supports the vagus nerve is if you breathe in first, so you take a deep breath, and then as you're breathing out, you're humming. Hum. Am I hearing anyone else? When we get to that part, it'll be 2 minutes. Just let all your I don't know, insecurities go, and just hum, and I'll have some music playing as well, so you don't have, and you can also keep yourself on mute. But basically when we get to the humming part, it's just like a deep breath in and humming out until that breath is fully released, and then you're breathing in again. Alternating nostril breathing is also, I was supposed to write nostril. Alternating nostril breathing is also really helpful. Has anyone ever done alternating nostril breathing or know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So basically that's where you're using your thumb and one of your other fingers to block one nose, and you're breathing in, and then you're holding, and then you're swapping over to the other nostril and you're breathing out and you're holding. So both of these have been shown to help stimulate the vagus nerve, because you kind of make sense. If you're humming, it's actually vibrating that nerve, and the alternating nostril also helps to support brain health. So it's all interconnected there. Okay, occipital lobe massage. So also, if you have any questions as I'm going through, sorry, I can't hum. Throat is no good. That is okay. Just pop them in the chat. Okay, so the back of your skull, everyone grab your fingers, and right at the back, there's an indent, and I've circled those on this picture. Like 2 little indents at the bottom of your skull. Can everyone feel that? If you press in there, and sometimes it doesn't really feel tense or hurt unless someone else is doing it, but as you're just digging your fingers in that area of the skull, does anyone feel any tension, soreness? Yeah, Ange? Well, I've got one on my, my right side. Sometimes too, one side is a bit sorer than the other. So this is an awesome spot to massage, and you can do it yourself or get someone else to do it. That helps to just release. It helps to release your vagus nerve, and again, because that vagus nerve is running up in between those 2 points, and so it just helps to release the muscle tissue, and then the nerve can actually be more relaxed. This hiatal hernia, so that's where the stomach, if the stomach pops up into the esophagus, that alone can help release your stomach, and it actually drops down into place. So if anyone has heartburn or has a history of hiatal hernia, giving that a good rub every day will just help to keep that stomach down. Ear massage. So there's also some points in your ear that are connected to the vagus nerve, and stimulating these can help you to have a healthy vagus nerve. So I'm going to take one of my, oh, that sounds really weird. Okay, so first of all, just grab one of your ears, or both of them, and just pull them away from your head. Does anyone feel like that's kind of like stiff or gnarly, or does it feel nice and soft and loose? And just have a try both, because sometimes one is okay, but the other one isn't. All good. If it's nice and soft and loose, that is great. The spots that we'll massage, and you can have a little practice now, is in this diagram. So that first one is kind of like at the top. So I'm trying to show my ear. So if you put your finger, it's not right at the top, like it's not right at the tippy top of your earlobe, it's that next indent down. And the massage technique that you're doing isn't pushing in. It's not like aggressive. It's really just loosening up the skin in like a circular movement. I was actually doing this earlier today and I almost fell asleep. I'm like, oh, this is actually really relaxing, which is what you want. I mean, if you don't feel anything, that's fine, but this is helping to release tension in the body. It's helping to support the vagus nerve. And then the other spot is closer down. Yes, I can make it bigger. The other spot is closer down. So you got your ear hole. You're not pressing in the ear hole. You're just pressing in that big indent next to your ear hole. And again, you just kind of like circular moves in the skin there. This spot specifically too is really good for if someone has TMJ or like a tight jaw tension. And also tension headaches. Sometimes this reflexology spot can also help those specific things. Is that right, Vicky? I made that picture bigger, not me. Oh, me. You want me? I don't know how to make me. No, yeah, I do. Is that okay? You got that? Beck, is this why people get their inner ear pierced for a therapeutic process? I wondered how it stopped migraines. Yeah, I didn't actually think about that connection, but 100% that is what is happening there. Yeah. So how cool is that you don't have to pierce yourself, although most people have piercings, so maybe it's not that bad. Okay. Any questions? Those spots, got them? Okay, next organ is the stomach. Okay, so stomach helps to produce stomach acid. It's breaking down food. So you break down food in your mouth, but the next most heavy hitting spot to break down food is in your stomach, especially proteins. So the exercises that we're going to do is going to help stimulate that stomach acid, but also if there's issues with your stomach positioning. So I was talking about a hiatal hernia where the stomach can pop up into the esophagus. Then these specific techniques can help to drop the stomach. And also I'm going to show you a couple of reflexology spots on your rib cage that can also help to stimulate stomach acid and digestive enzymes. So in terms of symptoms, if you're having reflux, indigestion, heartburn, these techniques, awesome. Shallow breathing, chest or back pain can come from the stomach not sitting in the right place. So if your stomach is wedged up into your esophagus, it then wedges up and presses up into your diaphragm and your lungs. And so sometimes that's where, like if you feel like, oh, as much as I try, I can't get that deep belly breath, it's just stopping here at my chest, then often that means that there's some sort of a stomach dysfunction issue. And also some people can get chest pain or back pain. It can actually even feel like heart attack pain. Now, if you get heart attack pain, go to the emergency. Don't just do some heel drops and, then have a heart attack. But if all is clear and you continue getting these symptoms, it's usually because the stomach isn't in place. So my favorite things to do we're not going to use a hot water bottle today, but it can be as simple as using a hot water bottle or a heat pack and just sticking it over your stomach. So your stomach is on your left side, kind of just underneath and below your rib cage. Heel drops are also awesome. I can't remember if I included this in the flow or not, but basically what I get people to do when there is a hiatal hernia in terms of making sure that you keep your stomach down is take a big drink of water, 250 mils, 500 mils, or you could do it as a herbal tea. And then every morning when you wake up, 11 heel drops. So you're going up on your tippy toes and then you're just dropping down so that your heels hit the floor, and you do that 11 times. And that water in your stomach acts as a dumbbell or a weight that pulls it down into the place. And then that movement helps to keep the stomach down. And the more that, like if someone has a hiatal hernia issue and it's chronic, the more that you can do that, then the more you can train your organ to sit where it should. Functional breathing, so that's like that deep belly breathing, is going to help the stomach. Hiatal hernia treatment, so I'll go over a couple of little slides for this one as well. So first of all, you've got your sternum, so that's that big bone going down, and then your ribs are coming out of it. And then at the bottom of the sternum is a little you have a little bone that kind of hangs down, and then your rib cages start. So if you guys just pop your fingers kind of like right at the top of the rib cage, and then you might even be able to feel the end of your sternum. And then, so there's a hiatal hernia syndrome point. So your stomach's on the left side. So if you press your finger right into your spine, so you grab that little spot that's sort of like right at the top of your rib cage on the left side, and you press it down or into your spine, and if there's tightness, something pinching or pain, that usually means your stomach isn't in place right. Does anyone feel that, or everything that feels okay, loose? All right. Okay. Cool. If any, like with the ear things, any like little tests, just keep a note either on a piece of paper or in your head, because it'll be interesting to just retest that after the end of the session, and see if that's like, oh, that's all good now. Okay. So hiatal hernia treatment, there's different ways you can pull the stomach down. This is my favorite, and it doesn't hurt, and it's actually really easy for you to do. So if I have someone in person, I'll do it for them, but it's actually really easy to do for yourself. So you got your stomach on your left side, and then on your right side is where your liver gallbladder is. And you want to kind of like use your fingers like that along. If you put your hand along your right side of your rib cage, so it's kind of like in flush with your rib cage, and just kind of like gently pushing in and then down. And I just hold that for about 4 minutes. So I had a pretty bad hiatal hernia that was causing a lot of issues. This is quite a few years ago. But I just did these techniques every day, and after about a month, it wasn't an issue anymore. It kind of kept popping up, but the more I did these kind of like massage movement, visceral techniques, the more that stomach stayed down. Has everyone found that spot? It's not confusing. Everyone feels different too. Like I've done this on lots of different people, and sometimes I'm like, oh, gosh, this is a different feeling rib cage, but it generally works. Like you don't have to get exact precision, as long as you're pressing in and then pressing down, and that traction just helps to pull the stomach down underneath your hand. Okay, so on your rib cage, little arrows there. If you grab your hands, lift my jumper up for this one, and you feel down your rib cage, usually it's about, well, it's where I've done the arrows. There's usually, or should be, a little indent. Kind of like if you run your fingers down, there's 2 little indents on either side of the rib cage. And you're pressing not on the rib cage, but kind of like underneath the bone. Has everyone got that? Can you feel that? So on the right side, this spot on the right side, if you give it a good rub, if it's sore, that actually can be a sign that your digestive enzymes aren't being produced effectively from your pancreas. And then on the left side, if the left side is quite sore, then that's usually a sign that stomach acid is an issue, like it's not being produced effectively. So not every day, just whenever I remember, I always give these little spots a rub. They both feel pretty good today, but I definitely had major issues for a long time on my left side, so stomach acid. And that's often common if someone has had a hiatal hernia for a while. Everyone got that? Anyone confused? Was that a you've got it, Ange, or I've got a question? You're good? You're lying down on your bed? No. Okay. Alrighty, moving on to intestines. Okay, so intestines, amazing for bowel motions, digestion, absorption of food. Often if there's issues in this area, you will likely have constipation, diarrhea, bloating, pain. That's okay. If you haven't been able to find the spots for whatever reason, maybe padding, if you can just get your finger sort of like in the general area and almost just giving your rib cage a good rub, and not just in one little spot, but a good rub, you're going to get the spots. Okay, so exercises that I love to help support the intestines are abdo tapping. I'm just going to step back. You won't be able to hear me while I'm stepping back, probably, but this is the action that I'm doing. So just fists, you know how sometimes you go to Chinese or like a Thai massage and they do the slapping or the tapping at the end of the massage? That's basically what you're doing, but instead of doing it on your chest, you're doing it down below. As a gorilla. So if I'm stepping back, actually, you know what I might do? If I die, oh my goodness, oh my god. Yeah, so it's just tapping. Kind of like anywhere, everywhere, not just in the one place. Okay, so that's abdo tapping. That's pretty easy. You want to be careful though. Like if you have got a lot of bloating or pain, then don't do it too hard. But you want to do it vigorously enough that you're going to help to shift. It's really helpful for shifting trapped gas. Also, if your bowels are just quite sluggish, that's going to help with stimulating motility. So that's the muscle contracting. And yeah, it brings more blood flow into the intestines, which then activates movement in your intestines. Okay, abdo breathing massage. So this is, again, quite a simple technique. I'll try and show it on the video. But basically you are just breathing out. So you're kind of like making your belly look like a pregnant lady. And then you're sucking it right back in. And you're just doing that with your abdominal muscles. Not kind of like with your spine. So your spine should be nice and straight. Abdominal muscles would just be moving your stomach out or your gut out and in. So I'll see if I can do this so you can see. Maybe if I take that off. Okay. See my belly. Okay. Oh, sorry. Oh my gosh. Chris was going to set me up another video. But see, okay, so belly out, then bringing it in, belly out, bringing it in. And then you can even do the worm. So that's where you can without trying to like do like a full on back flexion, you're just rolling your belly. So your belly movement is more of like a wave. Why are you laughing at me, Ange? Oh gosh. Okay, can everyone have a little go of that, just so that, and if you're like, oh, I'm so confused and I don't know what the hell you're talking about. have a little go. So breathing out and then in and then out and then in, and then you can do the little roll, the worm roll or the caterpillar roll. I love the worm. We get the whole body into it. Yeah. Okay, so that's the abdo breathing massage. Rebounding can look like skipping or jumping on the spot or star jumps or jumping on a trampoline. So that movement of up and down, especially for people with constipation or you just feel like your digestion is really sluggish, that's going to help stimulate to bring the poo down to the bottom. And again, it's just helping to support motility. So it's getting that chemical, electrical response happening in your muscle tissue, in your gut lining, so everything's moving through correctly. Squat bouncing, just because I thought that this would be really hard to do on a stool and I may break my neck, is basically like getting into that low squat and bouncing. Again, if you've got like really sore back or legs or you don't feel very mobile, it doesn't quite get the same effect doing like a high squat. I would say you would be better off doing like more of a bouncing motion, which I guess is a high squat if you don't want to go up and down off the ground. But doing like, say, rebounding on a trampoline 5 minutes a day, amazing for gut health. And child's pose, I love this one. It's nice and relaxing, and it's really good, especially if you've got pain in the gut. So if you feel like you're really gassy or bloated, this one, especially if you pop your bum up and kind of like move your hips around, it just helps to release any trapped gas. Okay, any questions on all of that? Let's see how this goes. Okay, so I have, this is kind of, I'm not even showing. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, guys. Someone should have told me I'm not screen sharing. Here we go. Squat bouncing. That's what squat bouncing looks like. So that's that really low squat. Some people can do it with their feet flat if you're quite mobile or stretchy. And child's pose is that one. If you don't know yoga poses, that's what child's pose looks like. So what I'm thinking, if you're keen to play along, is we're going to go through a flow of all of those movements. I'm going to try and do it as well, but I'm also going to be playing lovely music and I'm going to be flipping back to certain slides, especially like those diagram ones, just so that you're like, oh, I'm not really sure where we're at. How's everyone feeling? You want to have a move, a breathe, a massage? Oh yeah, Tracy. Yeah, exactly. It's just like belly dancing. I should get someone to come in and do a belly dance. It's like, this is great for gut health. Woo. All right. If I play this, can you guys hear music? No? Okay. I won't play that one. Hear that music? Okay. Just going to get a timer so I can know how long we're doing things. Okay, so everyone remember the spots underneath the occipital lobe? So we'll just start there. And you can close your eyes. Just focus on your breath. Not doing anything special, but just breathing normally. Sometimes too, you might want to come down the neck as well if the neck is a bit more tense. Okay, and now if you want to shake your arms out, and we'll just go to the ear massage, so the 2 spots at the ear. Take that to the slide if you need that one. And whichever one you've started on, just remain there for another 15 seconds in that spot. And then switch to the other spot. Just gently circle movements, just releasing, loosening that skin. If you need to, a little shake out of the hands, or if it feels better just doing one, that's fine. So now we're going to move into the humming. So for 2 minutes, just deep breaths. And then just hum it out every time you breathe. switch to alternating nostril breathing. If you got sinus issues or feeling really congested, maybe just keep going with the humming or just regular breathing. But I'll count us in. So if we start with the right right thumb to right nostril and breathing in by 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, switch nostrils, 2, and breathe out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, and switch nostrils, and breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, and switch nostrils, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, and switch nostrils, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, and switch nostrils, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, switch nostrils, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, and switch nostrils, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, and switch nostrils, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, and switch nostrils, breathe out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, and switch nostrils, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, and just breathe out normally. I forgot to ask, can you guys hear this music? Oh, good. Great. Otherwise, that would be really not relaxing just hearing me. Okay, so we're going to go to the hiatal hernia spot. So that was the hands just underneath the right side of your rib cage and pressing in, and then just holding that down. And we're going to hold this one for about 3.5 minutes, which is generally 4-ish minutes is generally enough time just to allow the stomach to relax and come back down underneath your hand. And most people don't really feel anything, but sometimes you might feel either some gurgling or little flickers as gut and other muscles start to shift and change. switch to those 2 points. So the digestive enzyme and stomach acid points. This one's there. And again, if you can't feel the little indents, just give your ribs a nice rub. And if there are any sore spots, then just focus more on that side. And really you're just wanting to rub until it feels neutral. Also, you don't want to rub so hard that it then starts hurting. So if you're kind of like, oh, that feels good, just lovingly caress your stomach, your rib cage. It's actually a technique called havening, where if you're doing this soft rubbing, this is actually a trauma release and a stress release. Rubbing your face. Now, I forgot to go over the next one before, but sometimes when there has been stomach issues and the stomach has been wedged up where it shouldn't, the diaphragm can start getting scar tissue or adhesions, kind of like little tears in the diaphragm wall. So just for the next couple of minutes, kind of looking at the rib cage, you're using your fingers almost like a hook, and just hooking that underneath your rib cage, and just going from like right from the top, and probably just do one side at a time, and all the way down. And if there's any sore spots or any spots where it feels like there is scar tissue, so sometimes that just feels a bit gnarly, so it's not as nice and soft and smooth as the other places, then you can do a little bit of breakdown of the adhesions using your hands to massage those spots. And going all the way down, right down to the side. Sometimes too, you might find sort of stretching, if you've got any gnarly spots, even just trying to stretch that out with your thumbs or your fingers, so you're loosening it up. Okay, so this next one we're going to do the tapping, but not on the chest, on the belly. So it would be better, I think, if anyone's sitting down or lying down, it will actually be better to do the rest of these standing up. So if you just start some tapping, really we're wanting to bring the blood back into the intestines. Try and go right down to, like down where your womb is. Okay, so the abdo breathing massage, where we're breathing out, pressing the belly out, breathing it in. We're actually going to stay here for about 5 minutes. I know that will feel like a really long time, but it's really going to help get things moving and flowing and activated. Just try and keep your spine nice and straight. If anyone needs to rush to the toilet, you can. And as you're doing it too, so you can actually, everyone knows how to do like the pelvic floor, squeezing up your pelvic floor. You can kind of do that at the same time. I'm sort of naturally doing that. And that's also going to help stimulate. So Angie, you asked around exercises to slow down the gut. Well, all of this should, because it's going to help function. It's going to help with the function of the gut better. But with the pelvic floor, if anyone has urgency or leaking or, anything like that, supporting your the pelvic floor as well is going to help your sphincter, which holds everything in. Halfway with this one, and you might notice I'm getting quite hot. So you might notice you're getting hot, or like your hands and your legs are feeling warmer. That's all great, because this pumping is actually kind of pumping like your heart. So you're pumping the blood and getting that flowing, which is going to help lymphatic system as well to flow things through your system. If you want to add in the rollies or the belly dancing, go for it. It's actually, like if you feel like there's trapped gas anywhere, doing that rolling, and you can even sway your hips and even like the lower spine into it as well. Another 45 seconds. Now we're up to bouncing. So depending on how your body's feeling, like if you got a lot of lower back or hip pain or leg pain, maybe don't do anything too vigorous, but even just like bouncing like that would be fine. Or if you want to get into proper jumping or star jumps. If you need to shake your legs out, just do that. Okay, and now you're getting down into that deeper squat. So again, if you have any pain and you can't get down there, do what you can. You might even find holding onto something might be helpful for stability. And you want to just bounce, bounce, bounce. If your calves are getting sore, you can kind of just still stay in that position, but do more swaying. And if you do need support, I mean, this is actually a functional way to poo. So not that you want to poo right now, but you can use a squatty potty or books and get in this position is going to help support bowel movements, especially if you struggle with constipation. And then lastly, you can relax down into this child's pose if you're able to get down on the ground. And as you do that pose, try lifting your bottom up. So rather than relaxing your chest right down onto your thighs, try popping your bottom up as well, and then just kind of like swaying your hips. Especially if you've got trapped gas or a bit of pain or bloating, often doing that will just help to release that. Take some deep breaths as you're doing that one, just to calm back down and relax. another 30 seconds. Okay. See if you want to come back up. Nice work. How was that? I should have asked. Oh, I know. I think Rach said someone said, did anyone have a sore belly or gut or anything beforehand? And like, how are you feeling now? Yay, Rach, so much better. Awesome. You can do, we'll pop this recording up if you want to do that whole flow, 30 minutes, but it's pretty darn awesome. For the gut, you can. You can also just pick and choose the exercises that you feel are most helpful for you or for what's going on for you. And that was great. Dog was looking at me like, what? I should have done the downward dog. Awesome. Does anyone have any questions about what we just did or anything else? Ready for sleep. So relaxed. Awesome. Even like the jumping. It's kind of like got a bit vigorous and then we calm down again. All right. Jan, a bit tired. Thank you. Yeah, it wore me out. Now you're ready for bed. Very good. Awesome. Well, I will make sure that I pop the slides up as well. So that if that's easier doing the exercises rather than watching the whole recording, you can grab that as well as a resource. All right. Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Have a lovely night. I'm happy to stick around for a few minutes if anyone has any questions. Otherwise, have a lovely sleep. Thanks, Ange. See ya. Which out of those would be your go-to with nausea, bloating? Okay, good question. With bloating, definitely more the intestine ones. The tapping, even the breathing, the child's pose. Nausea, that is a good question. I guess it depends why the nausea is there. I probably would start from top to bottom. So even doing the vagus nerve ones, sometimes that alone will just help to relax your system down. Even doing the reflexology massage points on the rib cage, because that's going to help stimulate stomach acid and digestive enzymes, and sometimes that's why people feel nauseous. And the breathing kind of depends why it's there, and then that might change up what you respond better to. Found the gentle tapping in the reflexology was slightly triggering while doing it, in terms of it made you feel a bit nauseous. Gentle. Yeah, okay. That might be if the stomach isn't right down where it should be, then that type of tapping and then also the rubbing might have made the stomach go up a bit. Yeah. Dr. Ali, need to go see Dr. Ali again. The heel drops though, right? The hot water bottle. So all the ones, I don't know if Dr. Ali gave you any kind of like follow-up stuff after she did the chiro stuff with you, but the heel drops after she does the pulling down, amazing. The hot water bottle, and even you just kind of like doing that hiatal hernia spot I mean, it's more effective when you have someone do it, but they're kind of just things that you can add into the mix to try and keep the stomach down. Does that help? Oh, awesome. So cool. Awesome, awesome. All right. Well, I'm going to go to bed. So I'll see you lovely ladies soon. Bye bye.